Shalom, tonight DC scripture breakdown class. If anybody have any questions, just raise your hand. Any questions online, just let me know. We're gonna do a few things tonight. Just touch on a few things just to get you a little bit sharp. These things don't usually come up a lot, but it's good to have them. And we're gonna go over some stuff in Ecclesiasticus, all right? Ecclesiasticus 19.
Go.
Yeah, right. Any questions? Good? All right, no sweat. Give me the let's start with Exodus 28 and 11. Also, I need somebody to have a Bible dictionary handy.
Okay.
All right. Bible dictionary handy. Exodus 28 and 11. Get rid of this. All right. What's the score with LeBron?
Good night.
Yeah, 2-0 down, 2-0 up. What are we talking about? Nobody want to answer now. You see how y'all are? Yeah, all y'all LeBron fans. Y'all was just a minute ago talking about the nigga. Oh, he was so great. Go ahead,
It's still like it, Kevin. If I may, for the scripture breakdown, is there a specific topic that you're going to go into?
I'm gonna hit you back right now, class. Yeah, from chapter. All right. Give me Exodus 28 and 11. All right. Okay. Exodus 28 and 11 to start. Okay. Again, if anybody have any questions, make sure you raise your hand, please. All right. Okay. Say if it comes to mind during the class.
Okay. Exodus chapter 28, verse 11. Mm-hmm. With the work of the engraver in stone, like the engravings of a signet.
I might need you to skip up. All right. Hold on. Start at 1, then skip to 4.
Exodus chapter 28, verse 1. And take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother and his sons with him from among the children of Israel, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office.
Right.
Even Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar,
right.
Aaron's sons.
Right. So now this is he giving direction to who the priests are, right? Okay. So just in case you had to break it down and make sure everybody understands it, he giving direction to who the priests are, and skip down to verse 4.
Verse 4. And these are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate, an ephod, and a robe, and an embroidered coat, and a mitre, and a girdle.
Right. So now this is it's going into the priest garment, right? And if what we're going to touch on is a little bit the details of our garments, down to the details is biblical. This ain't just something somebody puts on there because they think it's fly. Right. The details is there. These garments is specifically for the sons of Aaron, which is different from what you're gonna have with the regular priests, because of course Aaron was what? Who knows? What was Aaron? He was a Levite, but in terms of his role, what was he?
He was the right hand to Moses.
Oh, he's the mouthpiece for him.
That's true. Some does.
Wasn't he the high priest?
He was the high priest, right? Who was the high priest today?
YAHANNA.
Correct.
Right.
And he had the high priest would wear that breastplate with the stones of each tribe in it.
Right.
Right. That was definitely what the high priest would wear. And of course, Aaron's sons, before YAHANNA would know, they would know after him, it would pass down with them. You understand?
Right.
Like that's how you would grow before. Like whatever your father was is what you would do. You would grow in that work.
Right.
You would grow up in that work. You had a whole family of executioners, right? Brothers who worked in execution, meaning the king says somebody cut their head off, them as men putting a black cloth over their head, their sons is going to be executioners.
Right.
You get the point? Like that's how the trade would go. Much like today, for us, it's not so much we experience it as blacks and Hispanics because we slaves. And unless you're like a skilled slave for Esau, you know, your children are more than likely going to be the same slave.
Right.
But because of it's a slave, whatever's needed is who you're going to be. Right? Versus the man who's in rulership. George W. Bush was president. His son, not George W. W is the son, right?
No, W is right, sir.
W is the father. The son, now the son come and follow him. You get what I'm saying? It's like that thing, that lifestyle they live in rulership. Because in rulership, you're not bound by the needs of somebody else. You're bound by the needs of your nation.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different. All right. Okay, so now give me give me 11, right?
Exodus chapter.
Right. If anybody want to read on, in here you will find the even the colors, right? The scarlet, the blue, the purple. All those were supposed to be on one garment. There's a Passover we had, I think in 2011, 12. It was the Passover when all the oldest troopers.
Yeah, 2010.
Somewhere around there. We was in New York, in the place where Malcolm X got shot. Yeah, the Passover there. And all the oldest troopers, Card, Soccer War, Robin, all of yours. It was that year General Q wore a garment similar to this. It was that velour type suede garment with the scarlet, the blue, the purple, the gold, the Mitres, right? That's the colors for the priest. Of course, then purple sodomites see this and they use this to vouch for their garment. But purple and gold is not the only colors.
Right.
You understand? It's more colors supposed to be on that garment, and you're supposed to have a mitre on your head,
right,
which is again just a cut for them. And of course, this is the garment of the priests. Women can't be priests, so why the hell are women wearing purple anyway? Even if purple was the color of the priesthood.
Right.
You get me? So that's what you will find. Come on.
So scarlet is considered the color?
Scarlet is like a red. It's like a blood red.
Oh.
Or a bright red. Right? Go ahead.
Come the book of Exodus chapter 28, verse 11. With the work of an engraver in stone.
Right, and also too, it tell you here the garment, whoever was designing the garment had to be bad, had to be somebody who would design something peculiar, not the same. That's why we don't wear all the same. Even the troopers is all black, but it's not. Each trooper look different,
right,
because his style is different, his spirit is different.
Right.
It's not cookie cut. You get the point?
Right.
Which is different to the Christians, the police, the military, whoever else, because they're all the same. You know, they want just like a machine, right? We are a machine too, but we're the machine of life.
Right.
You understand? So it's different. And when you see, everybody else, all them Christians, even the Christians who say shalom, they all tend to look the same. Even just with clothes. You understand? We don't look the same because that was never the spirit of Israel to have a goddamn uniform. You're not going to find that. You get me? Come on.
It's like you saying it's so heavy. And when you see the video of them purple cats marching in big groups, they don't even look masculine. They're wearing the same thing. And then I'm looking at the Passover and seeing all the brothers in the different fly garments. It's like it was something about it. It screamed masculinity. It was like these brothers right here. This is the army. It's
the spirit of the Lord. You know what I mean? And it's not just the brothers, the sisters too, and the kids. You could tell, okay, this is a nation of people. This is not, robots.
Right.
You know what I mean? This represents the Lord. It's glorious. It's everywhere you turn is something to go, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn. It's like that. It's not like iRobot, you in the room with all the goddamn robots. That was never our spirit. All right. So in between, you read the whole chapter, you're gonna get that. But there's some of the details here that's good for just for your own proof, so you know where to go if ever asked about it. All right.
Go
ahead.
Wakanda. like the engravings of a signet. Thou shalt engrave the 2 stones with the names of the children of Israel. Thou shalt make them to be set in ouches of gold.
Right, ouches of gold.
Of ouches of gold.
Right, ouches. Anybody know what ouches is?
Are they like the pouches on the garment, like pockets?
Yeah, no. Pull it up again. Some Bible dictionary and regular dictionary.
I got ouches in the Bible dictionary. So.
Please.
Ouches in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Settings for precious stones on the high priest ephod.
Right.
You can find it. Settings for the precious stones on the high priest ephod.
Right.
In Exodus 28:11.
Right. Settings for precious stones on the high priest ephod or his garment. Anybody know what it is now?
There's a little bit more.
Hold on one second.
Come.
Settings for a stone. Once again, we slaves. I sure if I ask your sister, you know what a setting for a stone is?
Is it what holds it in place?
Yeah, of course, because women get all the goddamn jewelry in the world. So she knows what it is. It's that, you ever see rings and precious jewelry? They have something that come up like this that they hold the stone in. That's a ouch, or ouches. And ouches are fine gold, and they put the stones, the precious stones in there, and those things be on the garment. What am I talking about today?
More like studs.
Studs. That's your studs, right? That's why our garments is studded. And brothers have different stones, like the headpiece Kazakh wearing or Kaga. You get what I'm saying? You put stone in your headpiece, the garment, even the pants. You get the point? Some brothers put stones on the fringes, right? Studs. Just imagine in the kingdom, that little thing that holding it is gold.
Right.
And it's real gems in that joker. You get the point? All the way down, you fully decked out fly. Remember when the Queen of Sheba, when she saw the servant, she thought he was the king. You understand? Based on how fly he looked. He was just the servant. He was not the king.
Right.
But it's to show you she's the Queen of Sheba and Solomon's servant. She could not believe he's a servant. What's that telling you about the state of the heathens? Right. They're dry. Yeah, they got no swag, nothing dripping there.
Right.
They're just, the heathens, and that's part of the reason they hate us so much, because even in our poverty, we look better than them.
Right. I'm about to say, it was a white comedian who did a stand-up. He was like, poor black people was different from white black people. Like he said, poor black people fly as hell. He said, oh, everybody else's poor look like trash.
Hell yeah. Because they're really trash. They really trash. That's why everybody, that's why you get trailer park trash.
Yeah.
You ain't never heard about Project Trash or Project Dumpster. No. Because we fly wherever. Wherever we go, we the way we do things, we just rock the thing different. You know what I mean? We just have to do it so different. It's just part of our culture, part of our spirit. Right? And our priests will not like them Catholic priests just looking just dead.
Right.
You understand? Priests walk in the room, the high priest is like, well, God damn. You understand? You got some more anything you wanted to read?
You can add again.
If it's relevant, go ahead.
A rich texture in wrought with gold thread of wire. You can find it in Psalms 45 and 13.
So imagine the thread of your garment is gold.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nothing from Sarah's or
Joanne's.
What's the other one? Let's go to
Hobby Lobby.
Ain't no boat from what? Michael's. Ain't no Michael's thread in that joker. It's gold. It's a garment arc. It's something to behold.
Right.
You remember you representing the Lord.
Right.
You get the point? So if ever asked why we look the way we look, it's biblical. It ain't, it's not carnal.
Right.
This is absolutely spiritual. You carnal, because no asking.
Yeah.
You are carnal because that's all you see. You do not see the glory of the Lord.
Right.
You get the point? You do not see that. You don't ask why they wear $10,000 dresses to the inauguration.
Right.
Dresses Michelle Obama be wearing be thousands of dollars at. Thousands of dollars. Them shoes they be wearing them dry ass suits they be wearing that they cover up in a damn pea coat anyway. You might as well go there naked. Nobody ain't gonna see what you have on because you're out walking the damn Pennsylvania Avenue in a long ass pea coat. But you wearing a pea coat covering up a $10,000 dress and $5,000 shoes and a $3,000 bag, but nobody don't say what they carnal. Everybody understands they have to be important because they represent the world power of America. But you as a priest, a nigga on the side of the road, oh, you carnal. You flashy, you have on too much gold. Nigga, I ain't have on enough. You understand? I ain't have on enough. You get the point? Where we at? You have some more on it?
No, that was the end of the definition.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 12. And thou shalt put the 2 stones upon the shoulders of the ephod for stones of memorial unto the children of Israel.
Right, go ahead.
And Aaron shall bear their names before the Lord upon his 2 shoulders for a memorial. Verse 13. And thou shalt make ouches of gold. Verse 14. And 2 chains of pure gold at the ends of weathering work shalt thou make them, and fasten the weathering chains to the ouches.
So now you have them studs in the garment, and you have on. Don't nobody go and try to make this garment. I haven't been made already. Right? No, but brothers have done it before. Where you have the studs in the garment, and you get them chains, little chains, and tack them into the stud. I mean, the garments. That's our culture. You look at any Passover, any high holy day. We have a serious culture stepping all the way out. You know what I mean? With our garments, it's important. This is our spirit. This is not carnal. This is who we are as a people. Right. You get the point? Where we going from here? Hold on. Give me girdle in the Bible dictionary. Because here it mentions the girdle. All right, give me girdle in the Bible dictionary.
So you still want Uchi in the regular dictionary?
No, I think we have it here, unless it backs up this. Yeah, please, give me it.
Oh, a setting for a precious stone, jewel, ornament, a buckle or brooch set with precious stones.
Right? Jewel, ornament, a buckle with stones, a brooch with stones. You know what I mean? Like, that's who we are, right? We wear these garments with those things because that's the people we come from, and our priests would wear it. We would wear it. We are a nation of kings and priests. This is why we dress the way we dress. Now, once again, this is just something for you to have where you can go to for somebody who's stupid and carnal and decides to question why we do what we do. Right. You know, why you take that and do that with it? Why you put fringes here? Why you have studs here? Why you do this? Why you do that? It's not carnal. It's absolutely spiritual. This is who we come from. This is how we dress. You get the point? Somebody get me good. You find it?
It's a pretty long definition. They say go see dress. So it's a pretty long
definition. Yeah, you might have to go
read down in it.
You might have to go see dress. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you exactly where you have to go. Girdle, right? That's good. Build me one. Nothing on the girdle.
Nothing on the girdle. It says see dress. I'm in the definition.
Yeah, dress already.
Right now. Yeah, cuddle.
Skip down to where it says girdle. Does it mention girdle?
So far I haven't read it.
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you exactly where. Give me 1 second. Right. Also, too, in this one here, where it says dress, you can see everybody have Bible dictionary. Everybody have one?
No, sir. No.
Not on you?
No, sir.
Could God pass it in the middle here to I.S.U.P.K. At least he could and you and Barack could share that one right there. Just kind of sweat. No sweat. Since you have one?
Wow.
You don't have one?
I have
you have another one?
The Strong's Concordance of the Bible.
No, the Bible dictionary is where you definitely want to. I'm gonna pass it to you, all right? I'm passing it to Ron after everybody read it. Okay, when you look up dress in the Bible dictionary, it gives you everything that we, our traditional way. All right, give me look, what page you on, bro?
I'm on page 137. So far,
give me page 137. Give me the second paragraph.
The basic garments.
Yeah, read from there.
The basic garments in general used among the men of biblical times seem to have consisted of the inner tunic, the tunic coat, the girdle, and the cloak. Added to this was the headdress and the shoes or sandals.
Right, so you have the inner tunic, which is what you like a shirt. It's a pirate shirt. You see some brothers wear under the garment, right? Or that, and that pirate shirt is long. That in itself is damn near like a garment almost. It's like an undershirt, right? The tunic coat, which is that the part that goes over, whether it's a long sleeve something or short sleeve that cross in the front, right, or the one that just go over the top, right? What else I say? The girdle, right? The girdle is really the belt. We can get to the part where it defines girdle. I believe it's somewhere here. All right. The girdle, Salaki. What else? And the cloak, right? And the cloak, similar to the covering. It could be something with that hood, right? That doesn't have sleeves. It's just like a cape, right? Or just the cape alone, right? Like a mantle is the same thing. That mantle you see Superman wearing, that's really biblical. You'll find that nowhere else, right? Elijah had a mantle and gave it to Elisha, right? When he was passing over the whole leadership to him, he took off his mantle and put it on him, and the people was like, well, damn, you got the power now from Elijah, right? Like that's our way. That's not, something, you could find anywhere else really as part of their way. Right. You would see other cultures bastardizing it. The Arabs bastardize it. Right. With the Mitres. The Arabs and the Pakis and the Sikhs, they take our fine Mitres and put that abomination and call it a goddamn turban on their head. Right. Who else? Down there, the Jewish man with the yarmulke, right? That's our war scarf, right? We have the shield in the middle. He doesn't understand it. He make it cover the crown of his head and put the shield in there. Right. You get the point? That little small hat. That's also in the Apocrypha as their custom. They force us to wear them that silly hat. It says that in the Apocrypha. They always take our stuff and bastardize it, but that's not the spirit of the Lord. Even how the Muslim women dress, right? The scriptures say, of course, how to be covered, modest, all that good shit, but it don't say walk around looking like, a little Goomba, you know what I mean? Looking weird as hell, overheating under the damn tent they be wearing. Right. Like they take our culture and they turn it into something horrible because that's not their culture. Right. Keep reading.
The word skirt, found a number of times in the Bible, usually refers to an article of male, not female clothing, and has a number of meanings.
Stop right there. It usually refers to an article of male clothing, not female clothing. That's how you know the word skirt today is different from the skirt they were talking about. Right, go ahead.
1, extremity.
One meaning of the word skirt is extremity. Go ahead.
2, corner.
2 what?
Corner.
Go ahead.
3, a hem. Or hem.
3 a what?
Hem.
A hem. Right? The hem of something. The hem of your pants. Right? Even people who do interior decorating, what's them boards they call that go around? Baseboards. Other cultures, some other cultures call them skirting boards. Right? Because it's at the extremity of something. It's at the bottommost of the wall. It goes to the corner, just like that says corner. Right? Or hem. The hem, the fringe of your garment. That's what it's talking about there. That's the hem. Where your garment is, where your fringes are, that's where your hem is. The outermost part, the bottom part, the extremity, or the skirting part.
So like I said, if I may, would that be where the word outskirt come from?
Outskirts or outside, extremity, like that. That's what it means. Outskirts, right? Outside of it. David cut off the skirt from Saul. It's not talking about it's cutting off a piece from the bottom of his garment. You get the point? Keep reading.
4, a collar. That's the end of that.
Keep reading.
The headdress was chiefly worn as a protection against the sun and a finish to a completed costume.
Say it one more time.
The headdress was chiefly worn as a protection against the sun and a finish to a completed costume.
Now listen, they describe how we dress as a costume. But this is just how we dress.
Right.
Normal. Yeah, to go to the corner store, you had to put on fresh ones. That shirt had to be ironed. You had to smell good. You might meet 10 bros on the way to the store. Yeah, shit. You know what I mean? But that's how we dress, like a costume. Now, who could read on the first part? And I see you smile in the camera. Come on with it.
Wait, someone, when you said complete and finish, that's what I was found.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean?
Because we're a headpiece to complete the damn
To complete the damn thing.
And a lot of fake Christianites they scared of the Mitres.
They're scared of it. That's right. They're scared of the headpiece. Give them a hand. They're scared of that headpiece. But that's how you complete it. They're incomplete. But there's another thing culturally. What do brothers wear? It's fitted. That's damn near, especially in the tribe of Judah or any tribes who grew up in North America. That's a huge part of your gear. You buy the thing, you buy the gear first, then you get the shoes to go with the gear, or you buy the shoes first, you get the gear to match the shoe, but then you have to have that lid.
Right.
There's whole hat stores, not from white people, not from white people, that's made for us, from us, ladies. You start calling them ladies. You know what I mean? And then they started with twisting it and making it bigger brims. Like all that comes from us because that headpiece is an important part of our culture. That's our culture.
It's like even now, so the younger brothers, I don't really see them wear the fitteds with the do-rags, the whole suede do-rags.
Do-rags is different. I'm seeing all kind of do-rags. I'm like, well, goddamn. Go ahead.
Now, so like, if I may, what I was going to say is like, we use that definition backing up why brothers and sisters also have to have their head covered or uncovered, depending on brother or sister, and then also like going to camp, coming to class.
Okay, slow down. What do you mean?
Like a brother might forget his headpiece coming into class, and a brother might lend one to him for class. It's a complete piece.
For that reason, that's more not a casual or a social thing. That is because that's the uniform of the job. A priest must have a headpiece. You must. That's why from the time you come in here, I would say from the time you're nearing to become a trooper, brothers will have that talk with you about your garments. Right? From the time you put on all the black, you're already letting us know you're ready to get busy. Right. But brothers ain't gonna sweat it too tough in the beginning. You might come into a little gray, the black. The shit was black or you bought it. Yeah. But by the time you get here, that shit see too many summers. That bitch blue, that bitch gray and white. You know what I mean? But to you, it's black because you remember what it looks like. Yeah. I'm telling you what I'm seeing. That shit ain't black. I ain't gonna say nothing to you until about day 60, 65. Yeah. Well, brother, let's go down to Foreman things and 5 for 10, 2 for whatever. Let's buy something black. Right. And then now as a trooper, you're gonna start. Once you become a trooper, you gotta get a headpiece to come to camp because you part of the priesthood. Right. It's just like you work in a kitchen, right? You're gonna have to start to wear certain things even though you're not the head chef. Right. But you in here doing whatever. Right. Even if you just come in the kitchen to take the trash out, you gotta wear that head net and whatever else. Right. You get the point? Because you're part of the kitchen staff now. Right? So for us, the headpiece is more, this is our formal attire. This is what we wear. Now, if you're not on the slave and you're just wearing it, you wear it just because you love your culture. You get the point? It's like I.S.U.P.K. His culture is suit and a tie. Right? But he might go somewhere and just pull the tie off and he's sitting down there in the blazer and the shirt. Yeah. He just likes to dress like that. Right. That's just him. Right. You get the point? That's his culture and that's good for him. Right. But once you show up for work, you show up for class, you teach in a class as part of our protocol, you go to camp. You can't be up there without no headpiece. Right. You get the point? You can't be. Certain things you just have to have. Right, as part of the job. But this year I'm just showing you culturally who we are. You get the point? And of course you can always prove it that we've always worn this, and this was important as a completed part of our costume or our fly gear. Right. Now fly we would just look like, damn, you see some brothers, it's like you can't believe they dress like this every goddamn day. Yeah. You know what I mean? Some brothers in here, sheesh. I ain't calling no names. I ain't gonna even look at them right now. They know who they are. Moving on, right? Read the headdress one more time.
Come. The headdress was chiefly worn as a protection against the sun and a finish to a completed costume. It varied from time to time according to rank, sex, and nationality. In the main, however, there were 3 known types that were worn.
Right, so that part, it varies sometimes according to rank, sex, nationality. Break that down. Don't get confounded now. Please.
It's like I said, I remember this is a while back, when we were going to camp in Baltimore, and Captain Nakazak was telling us.
Speak up a little bit.
Captain Nakazak was telling us that he remember when troopers couldn't wear a certain style of a headpiece. He was saying in the school at one point, troopers couldn't wear, like, they had to wear a headpiece, but he was like, they couldn't wear. It was a certain style they couldn't wear.
He either remember it right, or he probably muddied it up when he explained it to you. That's never been part of the UPK. So only a certain rank could do anything. The only thing troopers are bound to is the black, right? Because of course we don't know if you're going to make it through, so nobody ain't gonna miss you in black. Nah, I'm just joking. I don't know if that's the reason. That's just been a staple in the UPK.
Right.
Troopers are bound to black. Now, some brothers after the trooper stage just keep wearing black. Me personally, I like jet black garments with nothing on it. You know what I mean? Even the studs I want black. Right? But that's just a preference. You know what I mean? I wear different colors, but the only thing troopers are bound to is the black. Go ahead, Alex.
Oh no, so if I could start off from the nationality, based on the definition of what I was going to break it down, the different tribes, just like at Passover, you seen some brothers that were Gadites, they'll wear the feathers or something. So based off the tribe, that's what it's vary as far as the sex, because it's a general breakdown of headdress. It said chiefly, because it's a breakdown of the headdress, I would say also it would vary sex-wise, meaning a sister would wear.
Yes, our sister's headpiece is different from a brother's headpiece. Right, sister's headpiece, you see them wearing different things. Yeah, some of them look like a Mitres with not low arm opening. Some of them is just a big old wrap. Some of them they just put like a shawl over the head. Sisters have different styles of headpiece, right? So that's the sex, the nationality here. Of course, you have everybody in those regions will have their whatever their headpiece is. Ours, this is talking about, in different tribes, you have different, things that's okay. He's a guy, he's this, he's that. Go ahead.
Oh, and then the ranks, I would say, because the chief priest would wear the breastplate, but nobody else would, right?
The chief priest would wear the breastplate, but talking about the headpiece, even here they had a certain color for the chief priest. Like when you go back to Exodus, it tells you what colors he was to wear. Right. You get me? If you want to see it, there's a picture. I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna post it. General Q came in there with a bad garment. It's like a quadrant. This part was like red. This part was blue. Then the next quarter was like purple. Next one was scarlet something, and it had gold going all over it, embroidered in gold. He had on a war belt. He had on a mitre that was, I think it was two-tone too. It was scarlet and something else. Like he was taking it from there in honoring the traditionally high priest. He did not have a breastplate, but he wore that type of garment in honor of how the chief priest used to dress. You get the point? But this so is more in the spirit of when you come in as a young man, your gear, it ain't gonna take on a certain spirit just yet because you're just coming in. You have a whole ton of stuff to worry about, but there comes a time when everybody get off the treadmill and hit the ground running. Right. And then brothers start coming in here with inventions that sometimes you never see before, but the shit look one less as hell. You get the point? So more so in that way, a man who's been doing it 20 years, he might pop out with something that's just, come on. there's no way me with my 1 and 2 years in to think about what he the hell wearing. Right. You get what I'm saying? Right. It's just more so that, not saying only officers wear this or troopers wear that. More so that in our culture, because we don't have dress code according to rank. Right. Like you would never be able to look at a camp and tell who the hell in charge just by how they dressed. Right. You can't. It's impossible to do it. Right. But that's never our culture. You could never look and see we sitting in a setting somewhere. You could never be like, okay, so and so. We don't have that culture. Right? You'd have to see us line up in rank or sitting in a vehicle to even begin to guess. You know what I mean? But that part about the troopers not being able to wear certain headpieces, I've never remembered that. I know there's certain headpieces that troopers was wearing because they didn't know better, and it was the war scarf, and they would tie like a rope around it and look like fucking slacker. Look like Yasser Arafat. You know what I mean? And that's what he was talking about, where it was okay. It was a young man's best effort to get that war scarf we have with the ties that start at the temple here,
Right.
that you pull in the back and tie, right? Some those even that style was that's very One West, but at one time the war scarf just used to be the triangle, right, and didn't have the extra ties. So some brothers, again, high-ranking men who know would wear it, but brothers looking at it and can't understand that you have to get two of them strings or ropes and have them sewn on right here.
Right.
So you could put the war scarf on and you tie it back, and they would wear the war scarf and then get something and just tie it, right, and the shit would just look like you're ready to say jihad. Yeah, you get the point? And that's what it was. It was like, yo, tell them young men, stop making us look like Arabs. That part I remember, but not so much that certain kinds they couldn't wear. It was just a youthful mistake, because again, young brothers is looking at what older brothers is wearing or senior men wearing and want to do what they do.
Right.
But you just don't know how, and that's a good example for how the Arabs wear what they wear.
Right.
You know what I mean? You seeing this shit, right, but once again, you're not us. So you try to mimic it now, and then you go back to Saudi Arabia somewhere, and now everybody looking stupid. Right. You know what I mean? And they're not like us. You get the point? That was it. Anybody else? All right, give me where you at?
Right after nationality.
Right, go ahead.
Nationality. In the main, however, there were three known types that were worn by the male members of the Hebrew
and what?
And of the Hebrew and surrounding nations: the cap and the turban and the headscarf.
Right, the cap, the turban, and the headscarf. Anybody know what that is? God?
Slightly like we have on that. When you said the headscarf.
The headscarf. That's a headband. That's a headband. That's not a.
The scarf is the. I have one. The one where we cut the shield in the middle. And wear it down.
Right, you could wear it down, or you could pull it back, however you want to wear it.
Right.
The turban is the mitre. Right. Right. What would be the cap?
What Brother Shapat is wearing.
No, that would be like a headband, something like what he's wearing. Just his one is tied in the back. This one is like more like a crown style. Even the crown that you see on TV, they get that from us. Yeah, right? Heathen nations would wear crowns with the cover. Right? You see, even the hat the Pope wears is a bastardized version from us. The queen, how the royal family, the queen and the king, they would wear the hat, but it's covered, it had a little pillow, and they had the cross in the front. Right. They get that style from us because we would wear the crown, but it's uncovered because, of course, our law. Right. Man not to cover his head. That's why ours doesn't have a covering in the middle. You get what I'm saying? But what's the cap?
So look, just being that it's describing our everyday wear, I would say it's just like how we might take a regular hat.
It's not it's not a starter cap.
Go ahead. I was gonna say because we do that though with the caps. We'll stud it out stuff like that.
We make the caps look fly, but this is not talking about it.
Okay, cut over.
It's not just taking the caps, but like the scarf with the star right here.
That's the war scarf. That's the head scarf.
It's like the cap is I don't know the exact name for it, but it's like what generals wear, and they normally cut it.
The beret.
Right.
That beret is straight from us. Anybody know where that beret, the style comes from? Come on, you're supposed to know this.
Beret style? You mean like not out of the Bible, but it's more.
Yeah, it's out of the Bible. Man, I don't know. Look at the history for it. Come on.
It's from the Levites, right?
It's from the Levites.
It was when they cooked, right? It's a chef.
It's a chef hat. It's a chef. No, the chef hat today is that big thing. But again, that's not how we would wear it.
Right.
We wear that thing and it's cut to the side
Right.
with a little something here. Even the chef apron comes from the Levite garment. You understand? That's our culture. That's our garment that they done took.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Is that beret, that military beret that you see all them U.S. generals and wearing? That's us.
Right.
That's the cap. You get the point? That's us. And of course, we are the original warriors.
Right.
That's what we would wear, and they take it, for their men to wear. But that beret, that's all. It's really a chef hat. Right? It's a chef hat. It's the real chef hat, not what you see, big old puffy thing. That's that's bastardized. All right. Keep going.
The cap, the turban, and the headscarf.
Mm-hmm.
The ordinary brimless cotton or woolen cap,
Mm-hmm.
corresponding somewhat to our skull cap,
Mm-hmm.
was sometimes worn by men of poor circumstances.
Because that's all they could afford. Not everybody could go down and get a velour mitre or some linen something. He get that cap, he rock it out, he stud it out the best he could, and he pump it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Go ahead.
The next sentence is describing a picture of the book.
Nah,
You want to
I
see
think
the next?
you
Hold on, so-
yeah, that part. Hold on, I'm telling you where. Skip down to the turban.
The turban was made of thick linen material
Mm-hmm.
and formed by winding a scarf or sash about the head in artistic style
Mm-hmm.
and neatly concealing the ends. That of the high priest was called a mitre.
Right? We call it mitre. This is our culture and our custom. Right? This ain't. You ever see them sheiks turbans?
Yeah.
That shit ain't artistic.
Right.
Bitch look like you was sleepy in the morning and you just turned that shit on because you was late.
Right.
Because you was late. Donkey don't move that fast, so you had to get out of the house.
Right.
And you just throw something on your head. But anybody who wrap that mitre, you had to sit, you gotta tie that shit tight. You gotta get in front of that mirror, you gotta straighten up, you gotta get that center line proper. And you had to start a wrap. And under and over, and then, now it ain't looking too good, you untie it again. You come over and you fix it and you set it, and you do the whole thing. Now, I used to wrap his own and then deliberately tilt it to the side like you would wear a baseball cap. Deliberately just give it a little swag. You know what I mean? But that mitre it's classy. It's once again, all our wear is this is not carnal. This is absolutely spiritual.
Right.
You get the point? Let me see anything else. I think that's about it for this. All right. Any questions in the room or any online out?
Live, sir.
All right.
I got a statement because
Please.
before I came to the truth, I used to see the George man. He used to wear I think they call them zits, and what they do is they put them on the bottom of their shirts and cut between them. And what they say is that represents the four corners of the earth because you cut it and there's 4 feet.
He's stupid as shit. They're beyond stupid. They call them zits because in that what is it? I ain't wearing nothing named zits, man. Tits can't go on me. I ain't wearing nothing. I'd walk out the room. Brothers, imagine getting checked for not having it. Brother, where's your zits? Shit, some gay as hell. I ain't wearing nothing like that. But that's in their language. They're Yiddish for tassels, right? Which is what they call fringes, right? Come on.
I was gonna read another part of the.
Let me hear it. I think that's about it for that, but let me hear it.
They need the dress part. It says the clothing worn by the Hebrew people of biblical times was graceful, modest, and exceedingly significant.
Mm-hmm.
They were considered so much a part of those who wore them that they not only told.
Yeah, that's good. So what? That's a good part. Go ahead.
They were considered so much a part of those who wore them that they not only told who and what they were.
Right, meaning not only would the clothing tell who you were, meaning what? Male, female, and in some instances, no, not rank. Rank, our clothes never indicate rank. Never.
Tribe, sir.
Tribe. It would indicate, and sometimes you could indicate which tribe you were. Right? You see a brother walking around with an apron folded with fringes and studs on it, and that beret, you know he a Levite. You understand? And he wear that apron because he cuts meat in half. And if you offend him, he might bring it before the other priest and cut you in half. You get the point? You might be able to see, you'll be able to see what they wear based on the clothing.
It's like I was gonna say we do it today. We wear our symbol like Judah with a lion.
You wear your signet. You wear the standard for your tribe. Right? Judah the lion. You can't wear any wolves.
Right.
You know, another brother might wear the dice and the dice. Manasseh, who's wearing the battle axe? Is Manasseh?
The battle axes.
I think that's Manasseh, right? Manasseh is the battle axe. Ephraim is the unicorn, which is the one horn goat. It's not a rhino.
Right.
It's not a rhinoceros. It's not a some other mythical creature. Right. It's not a rhino. Don't have one horn any goddamn way. Right. But neither does a goat. But that's what makes it special because it's not one horn. Go ahead.
I just need to correct what I wrote. So it was gender, tribe, and what?
We get into the last part. We ain't get there yet.
So it wasn't ranked though.
No. You mean in this last part we're reading here? For the headpieces, rank, but don't write it like that, right? Because as you review any notes, you're gonna forget what I said, and you're gonna think there's rank with headpieces. This is more so just being okay. Just think being young. Just think being you come in the truth. You ain't know too much about how a garment would look. You could tell, this brother, he young, that's why his garments is like that. As you grow older in the truth, you spend a couple of years and you're around brothers, you're going to start getting inspired to put some fire shit on a garment. And just think more like that for our purpose. For the heathens and them, of course, they got rank with garments. Right? The only situation that we would have something that would be reserved for a high-ranking man would be the high priest garment. But in terms of regular motion, no, we don't have that's never been UPK. Because of course now, if a young man just fly and you with your old dusty ass don't have no imagination, what would happen?
You would tell him to stunt his flyness.
Okay, I wish it just was that. What would happen is, brother, give me that garment. Because there's rank.
Right.
You understand? There's rank, right? Right. So if there's rank, what would really happen is, what size is that? Just think Israel today. You come in the court with some fly shoes. Oh, them shoes fly. Oh, yeah, I got them, man. They nice. Yeah, what size is those? What does that mean to you? As you watching all of them fly jeans, you hear, yeah, what size is those? Okay, which way I could run? Head down, but you looking for the corners for the weakest nigga to bust through because you know what coming next. Right. That's that carnal thing about it. You get the point? So it's not really to indicate our rank.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
The trait for the battle axe is tribe of Shamawan, Simeon.
Simeon, right? Simeon, right? You have different signets or standards for each tribe. Brother might put that on his garments. You know what he is. Right. Or a brother might have a rib from another garment, and one day he feels to wear that thing from that tribe because, of course, he married to that sister. Right. He goes over there. He in her father's land. Ephraimite sister. He might go talk to the father, spend time over there. Right. No, he is Issachar and Ephraim. Right. You get what I'm saying? That's his tribe, but they're all one family now. Right. You get what I'm saying? Right. She grew up Ephraim. She married Judah. She might start wearing lions because she in a house with a lion all the goddamn time. Right. You know what I mean? It's just that. So now our clothes start reflecting all of that shit. You know what I mean? You might see a brother with something. It's like, damn, you I didn't know you was Judah. It's like, nah, man, I just like you lying. Yeah. You know what I mean? Oh shit, you got it? Man, these fellas look fly as shit, man. What you talking about? That guy like wife, you know what I mean? It's like more like that. You get me? Go ahead, bro.
They were considered so much a part of those who wore them that they not only told who and what they were. Right.
They would not only did your garment tell who and what you were. Right. Male, female, tribe. Go ahead.
But were intended as external symbols of the individual's innermost feelings and deepest desires as his moral urge to represent God aright. All
right. So no, that's very wordy. Too wordy. Break it down just normally.
That's the brother's spirit.
That's just the spirit. Right. That's just his spirit. He liked that type of shit. You know, we had a brother, he ain't here no more. But he used to come in, his fringes was chains. He put chains all over. Instead of like you have the leather fringes, you get chains and put them all over. And when you walk in, them things swinging and making noise, I'm like, that's cold right there. That's cold as could be. You get, that's just his spirit. He liked that. You could already tell when High Holiday coming, this nigga coming with something just cold.
Right.
He pulling something out of the hat because that's what he weighed. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's just it. It's just this, your garment would now start to show you and your spirit and who you are. To the point where you see the garment, you'll be like, man, I know that's Kagar right there, man. Who's that there? You back turn, but you see the fringes and it's like, man, that look like Kagar. That's something he gonna wear. I could see that shit. You get the point? I can tell who you are based on that thing. Now, if we all wear purple, how the hell I could tell you from somebody else?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing is who looking more gay. The next one. Which one is more gay? You get the point?
Right.
So it's once again, this is our culture. This is who we are, why we wear different garments, why our garments are so fly. And again, it says, because you want to represent the Lord aright, meaning to the fullest extent.
Right.
You step out there, it's like, damn, who the hell? When I'm a priest of the Lord, I read the Bible, I follow the God of Abraham. You start to run it down. Meanwhile, this has happened to everybody. Somebody asks you what you're into, you start running it down to them, and they ain't listening. They're looking at you. And what's this? You telling them about the Bible, and why you wear that?
Right.
They can't even. They done caught up. That's part of fishing too, and that's why the Lord gave us that spirit to be like that, because we are a spectacle. We something special. We something a sight to behold, and of course, this looking now, the mind could be, you could teach something, put something in that stupid head they got.
Right.
You get the point?
Okay.
Okay, give me hold on. Let me get two more examples of uches. Give me verse 31 in Exodus 28.
Verse 21, sir.
Yeah.
Exodus chapter 28, verse 21. And the stones shall be with the names of the children of Israel, 12, according to their names.
Hold on, you Exodus 28 and 31?
That's like, I was at 21.
So look.
Exodus chapter 28, verse 31. And thou shalt make the robe of the ephod all blue, all of blue. And there shall be an hole in the top of it, in the midst thereof. It shall have a binding of woven work round about the whole of it, as it were the whole of a habergeon, that it be not rent.
Right, what does that mean? Meaning the ephod is that garment, not the one you pull over on your cross, but the one you pull over the top of it. Right? But the hole you cut in it, you're not just sewing it in a certain way that it don't thread out. You put in some kind of piping around it, something that make it look cold. But it's to protect the garment from threading out, because you cut a hole in it, but also to make it look fly.
Right. Because you like when brothers first make a headpiece, you gotta cut a hole out of it.
Yep.
If you don't fix it right, the hole look raggedy and tattered and ugly.
Yep.
But if you fix the joint,
as you start getting more seasoned in it, you know how to cut that thing and cover it up and make it look right. But as a young man, you just full of zeal, but you don't know how the hell to do this shit. So you just there cutting, and then you put it looking fly, But I could see the little flurry shit sticking up from the cloth you cut. And then what usually happens?
A brother over him, the higher ranking brother, seasoned brother will say, brother, you gotta do that little back.
See, come on, let me fix it. Let me show you what to do, man. It should look fly, but let me show you what to do.
Right.
And you pull out the straight edge and you cut it, and he show you the little glue, or you get a lighter. And just burn the edge. That's an old school cheap way to do it. You just burn the thread. Just go around it, you burn the thread, so it burn and it let's call it I forget it. Right? What's it like? It curl up, but there's a word for it. There's a word for it. It's the same thing they do with wounds when they burn it to seal it up. Quarter, something like that. And cauterize. That's the word. It's like, I know you know. Listen, brother, you help me, I help you. Cauterize. You burn around You just build from the inside. Take your time. Don't leave it too long because you don't want the other design to build and shrivel up. And you just build it around and get solid and stay, and it just look a little bit neater. And you know the next time you make one, now you know how to get rid of all of that shit.
Right.
You get the point? Go ahead.
Come on, sir. Salah. Exodus chapter 28, verse 33. And beneath, upon the hem of it, thou shalt make pomegranates of blue, and of purple, and of scarlet, round about the hem thereof, and bells of gold between them round about.
Right here, you ever see it look like fringes, but it's little fluffy balls.
Yeah.
Right? They'll wear that on the garment like pumps.
Yeah.
Right? That's how we get it pomegranate pumps.
Right.
And then some of them would be bells. Some brothers would put bells on their boots. General Q one time down there where bells are fringes.
Yeah,
some Passover, he had a badass thing with like silver, almost like gunmetal pants and shit.
Yeah,
and he had bells on it. It was a pirate shit. Bells all over. And to some fool in the world, they might look at it and be like, this nigga crazy. No, that's biblical, John. Right. It's biblical. It's part of our culture. You get me? You see, there's some more. That might be it. But everything we wear is in the Bible. Give me Songs of Solomon 1 and 10. All right.
I'll put another precept with the fringes. Numbers 15.
Please give me that too.
Numbers chapter 15, verse 37. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations.
Right.
And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord.
Right. So you have a border of blue running down your garment, right?
Right.
So for most brothers, they would put it on there. The pants, which is a part of the garment. The shirt, this t-shirt would be considered what? A garment? What is it considered?
Undergarment.
Undergarment, right? Your fringes would not be on your undergarment, right? So that's why we don't put t-shirts on fringes on the t-shirts. So then I want to say something else. I'm trying to be a little bit disciplined. You'll see I'm drinking water. That's a lot. I want no cause after. I don't want to say nothing. I'm drinking water tonight. Deal on behavior. Right? We don't put fringes on t-shirts. That's not biblical. That's not our culture.
Right.
That's, something else.
Right.
Right? You wear denim jacket. That's an overgarment.
Right.
Or coat or cloak. You wear ephod or the long garment that you throw over. You put fringes on that, border blue on that. Along the pants. Your pants is a outer garment. That's not an undergarment. Along the seams, you put fringes. Definitely. But you could get fly and put fringes crossed up in the middle. Right. That's style. But the law is in the seam. The seam is where two surfaces meet. Right. Okay. So where your pants is joined on the outside, you could put it. All right. Put your fringes there. Your border blue running straight down. The fringes. Come on.
It's starting to come to me because I remember this breakdown from years ago. But it's like coming to my mind. But one in the scriptures to where, like, if you go out to teach, you have two garments. You have one to go out, and when you teach, you put on the teaching garment. If I'm not mistaken.
Say that again. Say something.
Like say if you're going out to camp, you will have one garment to come out with, but when you go out to teach, you would take that off and you would put on your teach garment. Okay, not so much that, and that's not a operating protocol for us. Okay. Right. What would happen is some brothers who would come with the belts and the chains and the long heavy garment may put that on after the camp is set up. You understand? You may want to put that on after, because of course he had to pick up the podium, do this, do that. So he might put his garment somewhere else, and he have on his undergarment a t-shirt, right? And he set everything up, and once he done, he throw on that garment, tap his headpiece, belt, and he working. Right. You get the point? It's like any job. You working somewhere. You get there. You opening up the place, and before you open the door, then you get fully dressed. Right. Yeah, you get the point. But not so much. We have two as a protocol of two garments. You know what I mean? That's
That's not, you could wear your one garment and set the camp up. You don't have to hold it up and then change after, right? But any camp leader will give you time if it is you have on your t-shirts and your jeans and you just want to set everything up and then put your stuff forward. Any camp leader will give you a few minutes to put your stuff forward. Right. That's definitely UPK. Go ahead, sis.
So what about the sisters that wear fringes on their jeans? Is that Tawab?
Yeah, hell yeah. It's definitely, you mean like jeans like pants?
Car.
Yeah, that's definitely Tawab. Let's get that too. Give me Deuteronomy 22:5, right? Hold on. Boom. Is it the Bible dictionary? I think I have a whole precept for that.
22:5.
Is there anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
All right.
For all that,
break it down.
A man should not wear dresses, women style pants, like it's cut specifically for them in their waistline and their thighs and everything. And a woman shouldn't wear hardcore boots and men pads.
Right. The spirit coming.
Dang, you was about to say it.
Go ahead. Say it.
Now I was gonna say, like, I guess I've heard a lot of fake Israelite groups will try to say that's why women can't wear pants. But if the sister is wearing it to look like a homosexual, or to wear it to look like a man, to try to, in the spirit of trying to look like a man, then, this scripture will come into pertain it. But it's not saying that a sister cannot wear it.
Over there. Please. Yeah, go ahead.
So, if I may, it's not saying that a sister cannot wear pants, but this is talking about that spirit, like a brother, not only just spirit, but also certain garments, like the brothers is saying, brother can't wear, a dress, try to look like a sister. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa for a man. You can't, it's the spirit of it. A sister can't turn around and try to have the spirit to dress like a man.
Right.
When it pertains specific to the pants in this conversation or topic.
Okay, I'll take that. Anybody else? Yeah, please.
If I may, sir.
Yeah.
So I remember hearing this from you, and you had cut somebody. I wasn't aware of my mind.
Lord, that's for sure. Me by myself.
Yeah, but he was like, you basically broke it down like, why do people have an issue with men wearing skinny jeans?
Right.
And he was like, because it's gay, it's feminine. He's like, why? He was like, because you would associate a woman with wearing tight jeans.
Exactly.
And then he cut himself. He was like,
listen, Lord, I can't remember it. I got my shit to show me the generals and that. But that's it. Is what you associate with that gender.
Right.
What you would associate. Now, another thing is that you could use, but it's blurred today because of the LGBTQ, is pink.
Right.
You see a brother in pink now, he ultra masculine because he's not afraid to touch his feminine side. Right. If I want to touch my feminine side, I go home and tell the great comedy room with some wine, and some candles, you know what I mean, and I'll touch my feminine side.
Right.
And some brothers have, north, south, east, and west feminine sides. They just go and touch them all over the place. If you're not in the UPK, if you want to get in touch with your feminine side, you wear skinny jeans and you go down to the mall and buy a pink shirt. Right. And that's your feminine side. But my feminine side lives and breathes and walks. Right. Right? But that would be another way for this to break down this precept of a man shall not wear the stuff that pertain to a woman. Right? It's certain colors is just, that's more a woman thing. Right? Everything has a gender. Even if you have a daughter, you're not gonna buy her a black bike with blood dripping off of it, a bicycle. You're gonna buy her some pink shit with, you know, Daisy Duck and, you know, Dora the Explorer, and she ride around a little bell. But you are a little killer there, you know. You're gonna put some spikes on the damn wheel, you know, some pit bull style, you know, pattern bike, spray painted, you know, name him Razor, some shit like that. But it's the same bike, you know.
Exactly.
But this is a bike for a boy.
Right.
Everything has gender associated with it. Every single thing, even clothes. So there's some pants that's, as you said, is tailored for a woman.
Right.
You get the point? Even old school, you might have to go talk to somebody a little bit older, or a tailor and a seamstress. Even the jeans, the zip would tell you if it was feminine or masculine, right? Old school. Now it's just whatever. But the zip, the length of the zip, and I think which side the fold was on would tell you if it was feminine or masculine jeans. Because at one time, the woman never used to wear them tight-ass jeans. Sometimes they wear regular jeans, but of course, because of their curves, it accentuate. And, you know, to tell if it was that, if the design wasn't there, you could tell by the length of the zip. Because, of course, if the length of the zip is too short, you can't piss if you're a man. But, of course, she just need a little thing to pull the shit down to sit. But if you're a man, you got to get that zip laid out a little bit more for you. So you know this is a man's jeans. You get the point? But now, because, of course, some boy want to jump in woman jeans, woman jump in the man jeans, now we have to come and tell you, listen, nigga, this jeans is too tight. Have an intervention. You know, you walk in the house, 20 niggas sitting. Come on, sit down. What's this about? Them jeans. In the genuine voice. There ain't no more room in them jeans. Come on.
Now, with that being said, I know we I.S.U.P.K, but it's like a double cut because with the rainbow, you know, the LSGB community use the rainbow for something homosexual, but it's actually righteous. But it custom.
Listen, I've been wanting to do that. I think I'm gonna do it this year. I'm going to put a rainbow on a garment and put Leviticus 20 and 13 right under it. And just that's so you can't confuse me with nobody else. You can't confuse me. Right? But
I was gonna say, they advertising that thing is like wicked. They call it good, evil, and evil good. But I just wanted to ask that question, but you already answered it because I want to make sure I.S.U.P.K is safe to do that to actually.
Okay, the rainbow is similar to purple. They done took something and made it gay.
Right.
You get the point. That's just the best way you could describe it. You done took something that could be used and you done made the thing gay. So the only way to really go at it is take the shit back. You get the point. That's just the way to go at the shit. Just take the shit back. But okay, nobody ain't gonna tell you nothing for wearing a purple garment in here. Just like nobody ain't gonna tell you nothing for wearing a rainbow. However, for the idiots outside, you have to wait in a way to distinguish yourself. Yeah, I'm for sure going to do it now. I already know. I done said it. I'm going to do it. That's why I shouldn't talk. I put myself in situations that I done gave him a word. You know what I mean? I'm going to do it now, but I'm going to get that Leviticus 20, verse 13. I'm going to write abomination just in case they get a little twisted. I mean, who are they having? Go ahead.
I'm saying I'm taking notes too. With the little chains going. You said you're going to put that on the garment.
Man, listen, get busy with it, man. Get busy with it. It's something when you put effort into what the Lord likes. You know what I mean? It's just something. Yeah, do you think that? All right. So that's it. So a woman can't wear pants. She just has to wear her pants. You get the point, sis? So you wear your jeans to make sure they ain't too tight. Make sure they're proper feminine jeans. And you put your fringes on that, and anybody have a problem, just give them the school number. I'll talk to them. I'll help them out. I'll give them an education in the upliftment of the people. To quote Jerome behind me. I'll give them an education in the upliftment of their people. You get the point. A woman could wear pants. She has to wear female pants. A man could wear pants. He wear male pants. A woman she has a shirt. It's called a blouse. Right? It used to be called a blouse. They just probably call it shirt now because it's so, touchy about this gender thing. And right? So they don't call it blouse no more. It's a shirt. Right?
With the shirts and the blouses, the distinction is still there. The buttons are.
I ain't sure if they're still there, They used to be there. But, okay, maybe they are. But from what I'm seeing now, them women wearing the man clothes right now. Them women heavily wearing it. They probably is still there. Probably there more with the shirts than with the pants now. But
coats too.
And the coats is definitely still there.
Yeah,
right? It's definitely still there. But you know, there's certain things you just can't wear that a woman would wear.
Right.
You get the point? You just can't wear it. And that's that. So a woman could wear pants, put the fringes on it, put the you could put the fringes on those things, but of course that's more so, for her style. If you're a priest, you have to wear it.
Right.
You don't have a choice. Right?
I got Song of Solomon 110.
Give me Songs of Solomon. No, hold on. Hold on 1 second. Somebody look up breaches in the Bible dictionary. Right. Somebody give me Exodus 28 and 42. Exodus 28 and 42. Somebody else hold Ezekiel 44 and 18.
I got Exodus 28 and 42, sir.
Yeah, please. Let Shabbat read. Right? That's about the only thing that's rank obligated in here. Work, usually the lawmen do it.
Right.
Thinking and passing the orders, you see them do it. Because they done worked enough to have the experience to know what orders to give. So that's just, younger men, especially brothers who are troopers and going to be troopers. This is your classes where you practice reading. All right. So when you get on the podium, you don't get rusty.
Right.
You want to go on the podium hot, warmed up, because you done read in class aloud. In the same spirit you would read on the street. That's another thing. Don't read in here like you read it in Esau's classroom.
Right.
The car is red. You got to get that thing on. The car is red. What? Red. You got to get loud.
That's right.
You get the point?
Right.
So go ahead and read what you want, all right?
So like Exodus 20.
Now give me it loud. Come on now. Give me it louder than that.
Like if I made
Go ahead.
Exodus 28 and 23.
42.
He's like, hold on. All right. Say less. He's like, all right. If I'm there. Don't sweat. Watch this. Go ahead. Blow me your head. I want to nick you. It's fine. Go ahead.
Exodus 28, verse 42.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness.
Mm-hmm.
From the loins even unto the thighs they shall reach. 43.
Right? So now, what is that talking about? Linen breeches.
So like I said, it's a form of pants.
So, give me the definition if you really want to.
Like some shorts.
That you wear under. It could be shorts, it could be longer than that. They must at least cover your thighs because, of course, once again, our definition of nakedness is not like the heathen. But it's telling you it has to reach even on today. You could make them longer though.
Could these breeches be considered an ephod?
They're under the ephod. The ephod is the big long garment you pull over. The breeches is the pants you wear underneath. You get the point? That's really what it is. The pants you would wear all the way. That's once again, we wear pants underneath. These ones they're talking about here, that's under the ephod, is like a undergarment. That's for the ephod. That's more like a robe that doesn't have the cuts. It's just a big old thing, and you put that thing over it. They would have something underneath, not like the heathen. And then them Hamites and them, they wear that long thing, and it's hell under there.
Right.
The point is we absolutely dignified people.
Right.
You get the point?
Right.
Come on.
So long, sir, if I may. They even got statues. I want this one in DC. I know I took I seen it on the internet years ago and I snapshot it, but it's like Edomite, I guess he a Roman priest or something, or Greek priest. But there's a little boy right there at his rod section with the skirt slightly moved over. And then it's another one where
I know what you're talking about. That's on the walls or something.
right.
It's like one of them walls or them old cathedrals or something somewhere in Europe. I know exactly what you're talking about. And once again, that ain't us. Say again?
those are the statues that are on the top of the building.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I
like
seen.
art.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about exactly. Once again, that ain't us. You go in the Catholic Church, brother. Under that thing, there is all manner of abomination because they're not us.
Right.
They're not dignified, right? Anybody have it in the Bible dictionary, the regular dictionary definition?
It's saying for breeches. It's saying for breeches to see dress. So it's the definitions we just were going through earlier, sir.
Okay, no sweat. Look up regular dictionary breeches.
Breeches, short trousers fastened just below the knee, now chiefly worn for riding a horse or as part of ceremonial dress.
Right? So is that thing you would fasten just below the knee. Why? Because that garment coming down there and cover the garment is there, and you have that under you to cover you up.
Right.
You understand? Like even when the brothers wear the tall boots and cowboy boots, once you tuck that in, it's right up under your knee, and you have your pants is right there. Just think similar like that, like you cover. You're right. Give me another one. Ezekiel 44 and 18.
Oh, God. It's like 14?
Ezekiel 44 and verse 18.
Ezekiel chapter 44, verse 18. They shall have linen bonnets upon their heads, and shall have linen breeches upon their loins. They shall not gird themselves with anything that causes sweat.
You understand? Linen, you know what I mean? Listen to Carnal had Passover, that linen garment. He only wear linen now, the fringes flying anyway, and he just nodding his head all over the damn He walk out to the kitchen and he just, yeah, you all sweating, right? What's up, Mark? You hot?
Right.
So now I'm good, I'm cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that linen garment, you get the point? And that's it, you got breeches under there, all right? Just once again, a proof for wearing them pants under the garment, right? All right? There's somewhere where it talks about the women wearing breeches under their stuff too. I'm gonna probably remember it later on.
It's like I said, if I may too, while we're on the subject of material, can I just get a quick breakdown for fake Israelites bastardizing what the scripture where it says the mixed material? What that?
Yeah, please go ahead. Pull it through.
Come, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 11. Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts, as of woolen and linen together.
Right? Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts of wool and linen together. All right? What does that mean? Anybody know? Anybody remember? All right? Anybody know why? First, what do they say? Go ahead.
Concert. They say that this is the Lord giving a law that we are not to wear any type of clothing that is mixed. Like if we wear shirts, it has to be 100% cotton, or if we wear some type of material, it has to be 100% of whatever it is, that material.
That part is true, but what do they say is the reason for it? Come on.
With some of that stuff out there, they try to say that it might have some unlawful animal skin or something.
Some of them say that dumb shit. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, that was my answer on that one. As far as what they say.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
Some fabrics just are more durable than others. So if you have a mixed fabric, then your clothing can fall apart.
That's also true. And some of them do say that too. But that's not the reason the Lord wants. But that's also true with the mixing of the fabric. Right? What you're saying is absolutely true. A good seamstress or tailor will tell you, don't put these two together because this one don't hold the thread as strong over time. This one will start to rip apart. They'll tell you that. They'll tell you based on the thickness of the leather or the type of garment. They'll just tell you what's what. You know what I mean? Anybody else? You're scared of a little storm? The Lord is in the store, man. If that knocking on the doors, that's the angel. Let him do his business. He can tear up them trees. Yeah, I mean, tear up the place. Let him do his thing, man. Don't interrupt him. He don't come on your door and you tearing shit up. Tell him. Some of y'all door he do come. Y'all posting pictures. Yeah, 3 in a row. 3 in a row. The car. So like, some of them you walk out of the room, the angel right there. So I'm talking about. Take this report back now. Good work. Good work, nigga. This shit. Like me. Who put out all in this water? You know why, man? Shit. Because that's your fault. Right? Okay, so come on.
Last was a lot. Could it be? I don't know. Maybe it's thinking like Judah, but like it might just be to authenticate. Like this, what we use. You know what I'm saying? Like what we use. It might be to authenticate the garment or talking.
You wanted with the authentic part.
Like take that turban for instance. Just the way they wear it. It could go down to just even what they use to make it. You know what I'm saying? It could be some. Pretty much just maintaining our culture. I would go off of those lines of it might be to authenticate that it's us. It's from us.
Okay. It's something with the authenticity of a garment, but not that part.
Okay,
go ahead.
I think I got it because the scripture pops up in my mind. Sell ye garments to buy a sword. The reason why you can't put them two materials together because it won't be good to sell.
You want to buy a sword?
What your name mean again? What your name mean again?
Girded and truth.
You get a precept, the reference, to sell your garment to buy a sword. Break it down a little more. Let's hold on 1 second.
Because like what Officer Brock said with the dented, I can't pronounce it.
I thought it was saying
cotton. So like if you can't sell nobody something like it's like frying out your money like they do now China.
Because you selling to buy a sword and they're different price swords, right? So if you could get him to pay $2,000 for this garment because it's 100% linen, you could buy a better sword. But if the garment is 2% linen and the rest is polyester, what are you telling him?
You're fine.
No, no, just think Jake and you will. You telling him, yeah, man, it's linen.
Right.
I feel it, look.
Right.
Man, you tripping, man. Listen, I'll sell it to somebody else. Or if you're a real hustler, you get your homie to pull up with real linen, full of gold and Jordans. Right. Oh, man, my man, you always hook me up right. Man, listen, I'll take this, but I ain't paying $2,000. How much you want? $1,500. Man, I'll give it to you. I know you always buy it from me to make this one feel that it's real linen, but he's getting that discounted price. So now the other guy would be like, you know what, man? I'll give you $2,000. Come on, man. I'm this man. He taking it cheaper. I'm giving you $2,000 right now. So, and you get 2% linen and 98% polyester. Right. You done defraud your brother because you're trying to maximize profit. The Lord knows his children. Just think if you have multiple children, each father, each mother, you already know if somebody come down with a busted lip and a black eye, and the other person have, a scratch on the, knee, you already know who did what. You just want them to say it. Right. But you already know, you always doing this dumb shit, and this one always retaliates. You already know. The Lord knows his people are. And these laws is to protect us from, being monsters to each other. So that scripture there is not so much so for the sewing of the garments together that might rip, or not so much the authenticity part of, it being, just for, like integrity, like, this is an original Jordan, this ain't a Chinese Jordan, not so much that part, but more so when we go to sell it to our brother. You know what I mean? It's just like, I believe further down, I tell you about the diverse scales. Does it say that? Or that's in Proverbs or Psalms? Diverse measures. Right? Somebody look up diverse measures. That's another precept to go with this one. The Lord hates a false balance or diverse measures. False balance is like a scale. But if you're used to it, I believe the stores up here have the one where you put the you have the scale and you put the produce on top of it and it weigh and the thing go around. Even that could be altered.
Right.
Back in the islands, I'm used to this thing here.
Yeah,
right? And they have the weights marked 10, 15, but I don't know if that's actually 10.
Exactly.
You understand? That shit could be saying 2, right? And he put 2 pounds on this side, and then he put the yams here, and I think I'm getting 2 pounds or 10 pounds, but it's really 2.
Right.
And I'm like, damn. See, yeah, don't worry, it's heavy. Nah, nigga, you defrauding me because that's a false balance.
Right.
And of course, we living in captivity, so everybody trying to eke out an extra dollar from the brother, thinking that this extra dollar will make their life better when it really doesn't do anything.
Right.
Because tomorrow you got to rob somebody else.
Right.
If this was real profit from robbing somebody, you wouldn't have to rob nobody else. But every day you have to come and scrape a dollar off of somebody, and guess what? This other person who just got robbed had to do now. Will scrape a dollar off of somebody else.
Right.
The Lord don't want a society like that.
Right.
He doesn't like that type of thing.
The second most important commandment, love your brother like you would love yourself.
That's right. That's right. You don't want nobody to defraud you. Right. So you just don't defraud nobody.
Right. You
be upright, straight ahead, straight to the point with it. Right? Or just tell the brother, listen, man, this ain't straight linen. But it's good. I'll give you a good price.
Right.
And that's that. You know what I mean?
Did this have anything to do with it, like not mixing your cattle, mixing your seed?
That would be it too. That's another scripture, right? Please.
Leviticus 19, verse 19. Ye shall keep my statutes. How you say
statutes?
Statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed. Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and with woolen come upon thee.
Right? So to sow your cattle with diverse kind, meaning this. Okay, you have, don't think breeding a sheep with a cow. Don't think that, because that doesn't happen anyway.
Right.
Think, okay, you have to be grew up on a farm or had some kind of farming experience. You have different breeds of cattle, right? You have bovine cows. You have, forget the other ones, right? You have the ones that is just good for meat. Big ass bovine, look like Hulk, right? Them big ass cows. Then you have other ones that's, the breeding ones for milk. You have the ones that breed good for making more, right? He's saying don't breed those two together, right? Okay, in other words, don't breed a pit bull with a German Shepherd.
Right.
And then sell me pit bull puppies for $2,500. Right. Don't do that. If these is pit bull, make sure they pit bull. Right. If these Rottweiler, make sure they Rottweiler. If these are shepherds, make sure they shepherds. Don't mix, because you're not giving me, what I would be paying for.
Right.
You get the point?
Right.
And it's the same thing. What trips Israelites up is that that last part there where he said, "Don't let these garments touch your skin."
Right.
They're thinking, "Oh, unclean," like the pig at their carcass. It's not that. It's saying just to avoid it. You might say, "Man, I'll never defraud my brother," but just to avoid it, don't even keep it in your wardrobe, because you know what? I might punish you one of these days and put you through a drought. And that garment might look like cha-ching to you, and you might now go sell it to your brother. Right. And that's what he means by it, right? So it's not so much anything else, but just to not defraud each other. Go ahead.
So like this up, man, I got the precept we're talking about diverse measures.
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
Proverbs chapter 20, verse 10. Diverse weights and diverse measures, both of them are alike abomination to the Lord.
Right? Diverse weights and measures are both alike abomination to the Lord. Meaning something that is not even or equal or a true representation of something. You know what I mean? If this is 10 pounds, it had to be 10 pounds. It can't be nothing else. You know what I mean? It can't be. And once again, we have a tendency to feel the need to screw somebody over as a people. You understand? That's something that's in us. And the poverty makes it worse. The poverty makes it just absolutely horrible, a horrible thing to do. to people. Like, okay, I can tell you when I was growing up, we have these punch drinks we make in the Caribbean with milk. You might have bananas, you blend it up, or soursop, soursop or sea moss. And you have these brothers who do punch, who sell punch different parts of the place, right? You see them around, and they'll blend it up right there. They had a blender, they had the ingredients. When I was a young brother, I would drink a lot of those punches. Later on, come to find out, some of these brothers put flour in the punch instead of milk, because flour is cheaper than powdered milk. And of course, you think he put a ton of ingredients in here because his punch is just so banging and it makes it thicker. You thinking you get an actual milk and bananas and soursop, and you drinking that thing and you getting ready, you planning the assault on the feminine side. Not knowing you was a bakery you have it. You get the point? That's diverse measures. You get the point? Is like, don't do that. You know what I mean? But once again, the poverty will inspire us to, we come up with different ways to teach each other. Right. And the Lord don't want that amongst us. All right. Let me get that one. Songs of Solomon. 1 and 10.
Also, you got some questions online, sir.
Hey, no, sir. We'll take a few of them on your time. All right. We'll just go over a little bit. All right.
Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 10. Thy cheeks are comely with rows of jewels. Mm-hmm. Thy neck with chains of gold.
Mm-hmm. Right. Thy cheeks are comely with rows of jewels. Thy necks with gold. Right. What's that talking about?
Gold teeth and chains.
Gold teeth. That's the woman. She rapping back to him like, "Ooh boy, what that mouth do?" She watching him, and you know, JB, shine. You know what I mean? You letting that thing shine. Brothers get that gold, that grill, and just start, shining. Just can't close their mouth. Yeah. Once again, that's our style. Just looking at all the chains and the gold he wearing. Keep reading.
Oh God. Verse 11. We will make thee borders of gold with studs of silver.
Right, we would make the borders of gold with studs of silver, meaning what? They're going to deck out the garment in that gold and studs, the hooches again, of silver. They're going to make him a garment because he just looks so fly. Right. And they're trying to make him even look flyer, which is, again, what, sisters naturally do. Sister get with her brother, she starts looking at him and starts in her mind, this going to look good on him. I'm going to go get that. If she can't sew, she going to find it on Amazon or get somebody else to sew it, or she gonna start to think of things, but she ain't thinking to put him in a Gucci suit or Armani suit. Right. She thinking to make him look like a UPK brother. Right. You get the point? And once again, our culture, right? I think that was it. Give me Ecclesiasticus 19. This was just a few things I wanted to go over as well. Let me get some of the questions, so let me just hear them so I know which one.
Sir. How Israel said, Salakia, sir. Could the law about not wearing clothing for the gender you mentioned be used for them feminist activists and female pastors that try to wear clothes that put on an authoritative energy?
It could definitely be used for that. However, I wouldn't battle them on clothing. I wouldn't battle them on clothing. There's something, okay, in a battle, you don't want to turn it into a me against the world type thing. Right. You want to focus in on that one thing that you will defeat. Don't light a forest fire. Yeah. Be a laser and just destroy this one thing here. Right. That's what you really want to do in a battle. Because now you could light the forest on fire. Now you have to battle the whole forest. Right. So now you start talking to the pastor about, the authoritative clothing and your woman's supposed to be submissive. Now, a sister who is not following that pastor, but wearing pants, even though her pants ain't that thing, or she don't have that spirit, what does she hear?
She can't wear pants.
She can't wear pants. Now you have to battle two of them. Now you've made enemies come together. Right. You get the point? Which will make your job a little bit harder, especially at camp or in a battle wherever. You want to battle that one thing that's really, going to crush them. Right. Some woman, some female pastor, I ain't talking about her hair. I ain't talking about her head uncovered. what's one thing you would battle a female pastor on that anybody could agree with? Nakamaya? She ain't supposed to teach.
Right.
Because not every woman is trying to teach.
Right.
But a sister, even though she wear any pants and stuff, she'd be like, you know what, you're right. I let my, even in the house, I let my man make the decision. Right. You focusing on that thing. Because if she can't teach, then her wearing the pants and stuff ain't going to even matter.
Right.
If she can't open her mouth to say shit.
Right.
Now, that's where I would take it. So you could for sure use it. That ain't the best, in my opinion. That ain't the best way to go about that battle. You know what I mean?
Oh, God.
I wouldn't go there with it. You think?
Oh, God. Also, the brother,
Go ahead.
the brother Lahab Yashikar said, Salaki Cap, can I get a breakdown on Isaiah 49:6? What is the meaning of give thee for a light to the Gentiles?
John Hyman broke this down, I think, Monday or something in class, right? I believe so. You could read it, read it first, let me hear it. That's the same thing he's talking about.
Oh, God. Isaiah chapter 49, verse 6. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth.
Right? This, of course, anything that's in favor, anytime you see a Gentile or heathen, or not heathen, a Gentile or a stranger, anything that shows favor to them, you could 9 out of 10 times take that in the context of that a Gentile is an Israelite by blood, right, and living as a Gentile.
Right.
So it's talking about now you're going to be a light unto Israelites living in Portugal.
Right.
You're going to be a light unto them Israelites living in China. You can go right now and find a whole Judite in China entering beauty pageants, placing second in the beauty pageant, look like any sister anywhere, and she opened her mouth in the interview and that's how she talked.
Right.
Because her father was a war vet, went over there and just swing thing all over the place, and she was born, but she looked like any sister.
Right.
Right? You're going to be a light for her, people like her, right? Because she will be considered a Gentile, not so much so that we are going to be salvation for the Gentiles, the heathens, not so much that part. Right. Somebody had a hand up? You was going to say something? Somebody going to say something?
I was going to take a shot at it.
Go ahead.
This is the Lord speaking. I was trying to read a little bit more. It's either Israel being a light to the nations or the YAHANNA being a light to us.
Okay, when you say nations, who you mean?
That would be the heathens.
Okay, about light to the heathens for what?
They will be blessed through us.
So we blessing the heathens now? You see where you're going? How you mean through us? Now you see where you're going. Once you start going down that road, it's come sit here and say shalom, right? A light unto the nations, meaning those of us who live in those nations. You get the point? Those of us who call ourselves Puerto Rican, Brazilian, Canadian, Jamaican. You get the point?
Right.
Like we in those nations, but we're not those people. So now it's a light thing to serve the Lord. And he makes you his servant so you could be a light unto those people who are of our blood, but in those nations. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Because if they see a light, they'll start coming to the light. You get what I'm saying? That's more so what it's talking about.
So if I may, so could you pair this with the precept where it says walking after commandments is to walk after light. So in order to use that, only the commandments were only given to Israelites. So it's like this is talking to Israelites so that they can come back to follow the commandments.
That's it. That's what it's talking about. You know what I mean? That's what it's talking about. All right. Arawata, you was gonna say something? No, sir, I got you. I see it. To water. Where we at?
Not a question, scripture.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's off topic though.
Go ahead.
In 1 Corinthians 9:24, What it says, this is a general breakdown. It says, know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may obtain. Is this referring? But this really just a general breakdown. But is that just referring to, I guess that goal at the end, that one person will have to win the race. So run a race to win type thing, or
read the scripture again and then tell me your question.
Just a general breakdown. But 1 Corinthians 9:24, know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize. Mm-hmm. So run that ye may obtain.
Mm-hmm. And your question is?
Really just a general breakdown, but we're at the end where it says, well, pretty much the question breakdown, and then at the end where it says, so run that ye may obtain. In the beginning it's saying, know ye not that which run in a race run all. Mm-hmm. What does the run all mean? And but one receiveth the prize.
Give me a race. Give me any race. Name a race.
There's a race in general?
Yeah, there's a race.
A track race.
A track race, right? How many people run when that 7 people, right? Yeah. When the gun blazes, on the marks, get set, bam. How many people run?
7.
All of them.
Right.
Read the scripture one more time.
Know ye not that they which run in a race run all?
All of them run.
But one receiveth the prize.
Who wins?
One of them.
Only one. There's only one winner in each race. Mm-hmm. Right? Go ahead.
So run that ye may obtain. So it's like run one.
So, okay, this is Paul. This is what, Corinthians? This is Paul talking to the brothers or the Israelites by blood who live in as Gentiles in Corinth, which is a place, I think it was a Greek territory. You can check it out, Greek or Roman, I believe Greek, right? In Corinth, right? And the Greeks were famous for what?
Their sports, the Olympics.
The Olympics. So he's giving them an example in what they know. They know Olympics. They know running. You understand? All the way back then, they had the Colosseum where they had games and running and marathons and all that type of thing, right? Even that word marathon is a place. They call it marathon now, but it was a place that was the site of a battle, I believe. And it was I think it started with one devil who was supposed to deliver a message, and he ran. He delivered the message, and he dropped dead. And they named it. It came. They did have it in honor of him. This long race in honor of him. Then, right? So he's giving them an example of how to be in the truth with something they can identify with. Like, once again, if you let's say you go and do a prison program. You talking to the brothers in there, and a brother, you might realize, like, a brother, he really have no hope he do in life, right? You gonna have to find a way to explain it to him using what he know. You understand? You might go to a university and you teaching, a medicine class. You have to find a way to explain the Bible using terms that they know. We might. Christ used to do a lot of what type of metaphors? Fishing metaphors is one. Yeah. Healing to something else. Farming and carpentry. Because he was a carpenter's son. Right. So he understood things. Building your house upon a rock, not the sand. He understood farming. You get the point? He understood those things. So of course, some of his parables, some of his teachings incorporate that thing. Right. And brothers would understand the fishing. The fishing metaphors was because a lot of those brothers was fishermen. Right. So Paul is talking to these men here in Corinth using the example of the Olympics and the running because that was a big thing among the Grecians. Okay. So he's telling them, they that run this race, all of them running, even though there's only one prize. Is there only one prize for us? Oh shit, y'all in here competing going. My hands went up real slow. Then y'all was like, yeah, shit, tell me. Come on, come on.
No, we all enduring to the end, enduring this marathon to the end. So for all of us, if we, the Lord allow all of us will receive the reward.
What's the reward we receive?
The kingdom.
The kingdom of heaven.
Right.
That's our total reward.
Right.
You understand? Precept for that is I had to paraphrase. Come on.
Could you use the one where a servant was working and then another servant came later?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. See if you can find it for me, right?
Gosh.
There's a precept saying the one who was working for years,
Right.
he's working, he here working, and then one coming like a month ago.
Right.
Both of them getting the same price.
Right.
And one can't hate the other one.
Right.
Both of them getting the same prize because they come to this race that they all going to win. We win as a nation. Go ahead.
When Paul's speaking to these when Paul's speaking to them, is the race particularly the kingdom? Is that the prize that he's? Or
No,
is there
the
something
prize
else he's
is the
talking
kingdom.
about at that time?
The prize is the kingdom. The race is what? Or
The war.
where?
Where?
Yeah. What book you in?
Oh, 1 Corinthians.
First Corinthians.
Chapter 9, verse 24.
Go ahead.
Read it again.
No. Go ahead with what you were saying.
No, I was saying that was. You said where?
9 and what?
9 and 24.
Yeah, go ahead.
1 Corinthians 9.
So what you were saying?
When you had said where, I just said. The land he was in was in what? Was it Greek or Rome?
He's using the culture of the Greeks and the Romans.
It's the war within ourselves.
You answer it. Is the war within ourselves? But why is there a war within ourselves? Coming to you. God.
Oh, Salakia, I was going to put a scripture. We're taking on their customs. So we, the war, like basically the scripture I was going to say is come out and hurt my people during that time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the war. We're taking our culture so we can get set for the kingdom of heaven.
You answer it. And you're right. You all the way right. I just want to set a certain way. Come on.
I would say the same thing.
All right.
Now the precept where it says what we battle principalities.
Now you're going a little too much. Stay right here. It's what could God say? Okay, there is a war within ourselves now because the false Christian them out the world into the truth. Mm-hmm. That's it. When you're in the world, there ain't no battle with yourself.
Nah.
You know what I mean? There's no battle with yourself. You whatever you want to do, you do. Whatever you want to eat, you eat. Whoever you want to have sex with, you have sex with. When you come into the truth, brother, it's my flesh wants to do this, but I don't want to.
That's right. So
now you have to go and do push-ups until that Jones get off of you from getting high.
Right.
You gotta go run now, or you gotta make a call. Listen, man, Sir Salakia, I'm ready to go down in that strip club. What's up? All right, brother, no, ain't no sweat, and you get counsel, or he might call you to do some work. And you might do something, but you in a position now where you have knowledge of good and evil now. Now the light will come on in your head, and you now understand that some of what you want to do is wrong. So now there's a battle. So you're running a race because every day you have to get up with the same battle. Every day. And then as soon as you conquer one loss, more problems come.
Right.
More issues come. Now you have to stay in the race and don't run off track. Don't stop running. Don't give me some other things that could happen in a race. You fall down, don't stay down. The scriptures say a righteous man falls 7 times.
Right.
What does that mean?
A righteous man can make some mistakes, but he could repent and
he could keep it simple. If he falls 7 times, he could
get back up.
He could get back up. That's the only way he could fall 7. If he fall once, he never got back up.
Right.
You get the point?
Right.
But in order for, let me put it like this, because a man could fall once. That's not what I'm saying. I'll put it like this. The only way for a man to fall a 2nd, 3rd, or 4th time, he had to get back up 1 time or 2 times. Right? Don't stay down if you fall down. Right? This is a race.
Right.
This is a long race, but it's a race.
Oh, God.
He's saying, y'all be, making all this noise for you saying bold. They train in the same chapter. I'm going to read the whole thing. It tells you they train their whole life for this short thing.
Right.
They devote every single, ounce of energy for this thing.
Oh,
and they run and they get this prize and it's corruptible. Somewhere right here. What verse you in again?
Verse 24, sir.
24, right? Read 25.
Verse 25. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things.
Right? Every man that striveth for mastery is temperate in all things. What does that mean? Give it a shot. Come on.
Temperate. I can relate that to source because you put them in the fire and you make them hard.
That's exactly what temperate comes from. Right. That's right, huh? So now break it down in the scripture.
Can we read it again, sir?
Yeah, please.
Come. Verse 25. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things.
Temperate in all things. Because
you're saying anybody that's striving for mastery has to be disciplined.
Discipline is what you want. Right. That tempered steel you're talking about, when it goes into the fire, the heat, how they do it, they you'll see some called cold tempered steel or tempered steel. They heat it up and then they put it in cold water quickly. Yep. And as it contracts, the parts of that iron or that molten thing that's not steel or that metal gets squeezed out. Right. It gets squeezed out because now the metal, the steel is hot, it expanded, then it contracts quickly. Right. And whatever temperature it's at, it squeezes out the impurities. Okay. And then that impurities is there, they scrape it off, they put it back in the fire. Right. Until you get that cold tempered steel that's been tempered, it's been put through a lot. Right. So it can last through a whole lot. It's disciplined. It's moderated. It's even tempered or discipline is the best word for it. Okay. Right? You ain't going too much to the left or to the right. Right. You stay in the course, you're disciplined. Right? You must be temperate in all things. You must be disciplined in all things. Why?
Or you'll go off track and run this race.
True.
Or you can fall.
You could fall. Give me another one.
So like I was gonna pull a precept. I will paraphrase it. Just keep your straight and narrow path.
That's true too.
SHALAM, sir, if I may. It won't be no order.
That's true too. But yes,
you can break.
You could break as well. You could definitely break.
Like if you other people will see and you're there, join you on your like.
Well, that's definitely true. But this part here is not so much fishing. He's teaching them how to last. He's teaching them each person how to be in truth. This part here is more so you want to be temperate because Satan will find room. You see scripture, give the devil no room. Anything that you lack discipline in your life, that's where he's looking to play. Just think like any game. You have a basketball team. Who's the guy bringing the ball? The point guard?
Okay. He
looking to see who's the slowest nigga to run at. Who he could carry one way and turn, because the minute he turn in, he have a whole lane to the basket. Right? You're looking for the weakness and you're gonna attack there. Right. You're attacking the weakness. The parts of your life that there's no discipline, brother, it's coming. Right. It's absolutely coming. All right. Give me hold on. Temperate here, right? Temperate. This is some collegiate dictionary. I forget which one. Right? Marked by moderation, such as keeping or held within limits, not extreme or excessive. Right? Now, this is not to be confused with how the Lord said I would prefer the hot or cold. Right? Because of course, that's extremes. Right. And the Lord wants it to be extreme, but he wants it to be extreme about being disciplined. Right? This is not to be confused with that. Moderate in indulgence of appetite or desire. You understand? You could desire something, but brother, what you start doing for it, Satan got you. Right. You understand? Moderate in the use of alcoholic beverages. That's an example. marked by an absence or avoidance of extravagance, violence, or extreme partisanship. Not so much that. Right? Give me some more. I think that's about it. Right? So it's like overindulgence where you can't stop yourself. You losing control with something. And that loss of, and once again, don't be so, what is UPK? Don't be so emotional. Because your emotions, brother, is a vehicle, is one way.
Right.
The shit don't come back. Once you get in that vehicle and you let them emotions take you, wherever you end up, you end up. You know what I mean? You dust yourself off, climb out of the wreckage, and sit there and be like, God damn, I don't even remember how the hell I get here.
Right. Because
You jumped in the Uber that said, emotions here for the shot. You ask me? You said, oh, my car is here. Don't be emotional. Be temperate. Be disciplined. Extremely disciplined. Come on.
Slightly, sir, if I may. Another one of the temples, showing moderational self-restraint.
Showing moderational self-restraint in all things. To win this race, you're going to have to be self-restraint. You're going to have to be able to hold yourself back.
Right.
You understand? You're going to have to be able to see something. Better not. I ain't doing it. I know what I'm talking about. Come on with it.
Yeah, no, it happen all the time. Just something simple. I'm at the grocery store and I'm parked close to this woman. I think she's an Israelite woman. But she got out her car with her door. She bumped my car.
Right.
And she didn't even say excuse me, nothing, or acknowledge. You know, because usually people bump your car and say, oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
She bumped it, looked, and then kept going. She didn't even say nothing.
Right.
But she left her window down. And I grabbed this big bottle of water. And I was like, I should really dump this. Sit down and see it. Your ass be wet. But I just threw the bottle in trash.
And okay, this is the thing. She probably didn't even know she bumped the door. Like, we under so much hairline. Yeah. Right now, especially with this COVID shit, there's a whole, I'm telling you, after this thing get back to normal, they are going to do a psychological analysis on COVID. And the mental long-lasting effects is going to be worse than physical ones. This whole thing, it's affected people so much, and it affects us because we was already at the bottom of society.
Right.
So, like, people are on so much automatic right now. It's ridiculous, It's, you know, so she come out there and she opened the door. She probably didn't even know because she thinking about some other shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you was right to just let the shit go. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to let the shit go. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So you just practicing self-restraint because, of course, had you dumped it, I guarantee you somebody would have saw you do it.
Yep. Right.
Somebody, a homeless nigga would have crawled out the damn plant pot. Aha! I saw him.
Right.
Him. Now you locked up. Now, and Satan done left you.
Right.
Now you're sitting there. That's the thing. When you're about to do it, everything is logical and pointed in the right direction. And 1 + 1 = 2. And then you actually do it. And then you realize it was not 1 + 1.
Right.
And then this whole thing don't make no sense because Satan done left. He done did his job.
Right.
And you sitting there like, how, man, I should have just went home. You start playing back in your head every junction you could have turned off at. Now it's too late. Now it's just too late because you let the emotions take you. You wasn't temperate.
Right.
Being temperate meaning you can withstand heat over and over on uncomfortable positions or situations. You can do it. And okay, you're not born that way.
Right.
Because a baby, cries for the slightest thing.
Right.
Because they experience life. They cry. They come out of the mother womb. Nigga, we take me out for? They crying.
Right.
So now, as you go through life and you start experiencing more uncomfortable situations, and you go through it, you build that discipline in you. It's like a muscle that just gets better and better as you go through bullshit.
Okay.
And you got to go through it. And after a while, this is the nice thing about it. You could be presented with a brand new situation, but you done been through enough bullshit to know that this is some bullshit. and I ain't going through that. So, hey, so and so, you ever see a green frog come out of the car and do so and so? You call somebody who you think done did it,
Right.
or you just step back and do what you know that you should do. In every situation. You get the point? You don't now just jump in the emotional section of yourself and get taken away. Every brother and sister has that part of themselves. It's there. It's in you. You're human. The thing that makes you superhuman is being able to control your emotions, to control that part of you. And Paul is saying that here.
Right.
Be temperate in all things, just like an athlete.
Right.
An athlete, they run until they vomit every day. You would think, man, I ain't running no goddamn more. Or now they vomit so much they had to eat this. They now control what they eat.
Right.
So now the stomach ain't so heavy when they run. And they had a diet and wake up 4 o'clock in the morning and do train 3 times a day and weight room and this. They have to be so temperate in all things. You working out, you young and you working out. What naturally happens?
You get stronger.
You get stronger. There's something else. There's something else. All right, you got it. Come on, bro. Help them up. Come on, Carnal, help them up.
You get faster.
You get faster. That's true. Something else.
Oh, you say you're young and you're working out?
You young and you working out a whole lot. It increases your sex drive.
Right.
You start feeling to just, I'm gonna sow these royal oats. Right? But how I say in the movie, woman weakened legs, you can't do it. You get the point? You talk to anybody who ever went to the Olympics. Israel is a small place, so you can know everybody. You talk to anybody who ever went to the Olympics. That Olympic village is a huge sex fest. You understand? Especially if you ain't qualified to the next heat. You come down there and you run and you come dead last, you can't go home because your whole country in Korea.
Right. So
what you gonna do for the next 3 weeks? Just sit down there and cheer? Yay! No, nigga. You get the point? You're gonna do whatever.
That's what the brother in school, Carl, he was saying he was younger in the world. He went to the Olympics. He said when his partners went to the Olympics, he was having sex, and then when it was time to fight, he didn't have no legs.
He ain't have no strength.
Box.
Exactly. Once again, he can't finish his race. You get the point? It's just natural, but you're gonna have to be so disciplined. You're gonna have to just be so disciplined to the self-restraint, to deny yourself because you trying to fight and win this race.
Right.
Paul is saying the race we running, not one brother gets the prize.
Right.
Everybody gets the prize.
Gotcha.
Everybody gets the kingdom. And the kingdom of heaven is not going to be like how I.S.U.P.K is.
Right.
Brother, the lowest in the kingdom of heaven are. That's why David said, I would just be a doorkeeper in the kingdom of heaven. Why? Because, brother, the power you're going to have is going to be ridiculous.
Right.
Paul is saying, now we have to each run this race a certain way. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Read on where it was.
Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible.
Right? Just again from the Greeks and their customs, when they win a race, what do they get?
That wreath.
That wreath. Right now they get them that gold medal.
Right.
But before they would get, and I think still today they give them the wreath.
Yeah,
they get the wreath. They get that thing that puts around their head, the leaves, like Caesar. Yeah. That's what they would run for.
Right.
And just, people cheering them on and praising them.
Right.
That's what they would get the wreath for. But no, that thing falls apart in days.
Yep.
That's what they devote their life for.
Right.
He's putting things in perspective. What we run for, that crown is incorruptible.
That's right.
Right? You stand with Christ in that day, brother. Okay, you getting a crown to rule wherever. Your son is going to wear that crown and rule wherever.
Right.
It's permanent.
Right.
That crown ain't never leaving your family.
Right.
You understand?
Okay.
Like what we running for is way more. And he's saying this because as you come out of the world, living years, sometimes decades under these heathens, the life you get used to living is very hard to shake. It's very hard to walk away from because the heathen life is so carnal. It's based on your physical pleasure. Right. That's what it's everything. it's based on your physical pleasure.
Right.
You get the point? They had an article in DC when when the COVID just hit last year, March, April, they were saying Amazon was overload with sex toy orders.
Yep.
And all them government computers they was taking home, porn everywhere.
Right.
Because why? They ain't forced to work. So now pleasure is the next thing.
Right.
And that's their life. You get the point? That's the life we living under these heathens. And Paul is saying, brother, you're gonna have to be super disciplined and temperate to finish this race. Right? That's what he was saying. You understand? No, you want some more?
No, that was it.
All right. This is definitely a good scripture for it. All right. Come on.
And your discipline, and it'll work all your life all around. Like when you, most definitely, in my experience, when you date a woman, when she see how disciplined you are, she's not going to be around you. Like it's plenty of times when you're like, oh, I don't do this, I don't smoke, I don't do this, I don't do that, I don't do this. Oh, you too tight, you too strict. And gonna find out if you too strict or you too tight, she's too loose. Like she's
woman don't are loose, and that's what they say in church.
And brothers also, like certain brothers don't want to be around. It's like, man, I gotta be. Listen, this brother's always serious, and he's just a little too, and they can't be loose around you. They can't, fool around and do stupid, dumb, immature stuff around you. And they don't want to be around. So it's good that you can get your life. The discipline is great.
Right. The discipline is it's a filter.
Right.
It's a good filter to be around.
That's right.
And with that discipline now, you could have wisdom because you're not so self-willed. And everyone in some form or fashion, somewhere in your life, some stage in your life, you're gonna be presented with that thing where you really invested for yourself in it. Whatever it is, whether it's a child, a job, a car, a woman, whatever, some situation where this thing done took you, and now you had to watch it and realize you ain't practicing the discipline you normally would have on something else.
Right.
You understand? It's like, don't nobody go and drink juice till they get drunk, right? Right. You don't even want so much juice. But soon as the jack come out, now it becomes a problem. You have to be able to stop and be like, hold up, I don't drink water this much. Let me start checking myself. You get the point? I don't do such and such for X, Y, Z. Let me start to really check myself, temper myself,
right?
Hold back a little bit, wait a little bit. Just practice a little delay.
Right.
And Satan won't leave. Resist the devil and he shall flee. That's what this is talking about. It's just reinforcing how much discipline is important as you come in the truth. It's important to success. It's just, and okay, you're gonna get tried. You're gonna get tried along the way. Just learn your lesson and get back up and move on. Learn your lesson, get back up and move, and just have discipline going forward. More discipline. Get harder and harder. And before long, brother, nothing will bother you. Right. It could be a whole earthquake and hurricane and tornado tearing the house up, and you're gonna just be right here. It's going to be over. Right. It's going to stop shaking. That tornado going to pass, and now, all right, we're back to work. Yeah. You get the point? Right. Like you're going to get to that point, and this is the same for men and women. You know what I mean? It's the same for men and women. Women, for sure, it's a little bit more difficult to exercise that amount of difficulty, just because women are just way more sensual than men, more receptive to carnality than men, right? And way more emotional. But it's possible. It's possible to get. You get the point? You get it, bro? Yeah. So, but this whole chapter here is real good. All right, we over the time for sure. Any more questions? We're gonna go into Ecclesiasticus 19 maybe next week or another time. Any more over that?
Say it again, sir.
Any more of the questions, or we good?
We had one more.
Right, like for sure, that psychological effect. And you see the brother in DC who shoot the woman and the child in the car. You all heard about that? Or some road rage thing? It happened just a few days ago. And they're looking for him. He come on the car, somebody cut off somebody, And he come out, he can't, he let loose.
Right.
It's a rough situation out here right now.
Right.
Because people is not in their right minds. We good to go?
Go, sir.
All right, with that, we pass the class over to Priest and Officer ROI.
I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shake themselves to the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3 and 8 through 10. Means 10th in Hebrew, and it's pronounced I.S.U.P.K. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations. Salah.
Feast of First Fruits.
Come
I think
on.
we in it right now, right?
Come.
Right. I think it began Saturday, but it's one of those holy convocations we observe the 50th day. But it started on Saturday. Right, Saturday at sundown, I believe.
And you can find the Feast of First Fruits in the book of Leviticus 23 and 10 through 22. Remind Akim and Akwakim to check on social media such as ISUPK.com. Salakia. The upcoming cookout events for I.S.U.P.K. The first one will be held in Chicago, July 21st to the 25th.
Right.
So if you're able to get to Chicago, attend. Only blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, of course. The second one, New York. Not Harlem, but Salakia. What's
Usually Marcus Garvey Park, usually.
But they didn't announce the location yet, right?
No.
So they just stay tuned to hear to find out where in New York is going to be.
And the one in New York is August 19th to the 21st. Texas, October 7th through the 10th. October 7th through October 10th. Las Vegas, November 11th through November 14th. And then Florida, December 2nd to December 6th. So those are the upcoming cookouts.
Get busy.
Within the I.S.U.P.K. If a brother wants to become a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headband, or scarf. And with that, say a mitre, which means to stand. Just doing one courtesy salute, sir.
Yeah, good.
Okay. We're doing one courtesy salute. Men of Israel. Amijah Shabbat. Amijah. Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yazmatah. Saw, which means turn, since you can stand up. Give one courtesy salute to the sister. Men of Israel. Amijah Shabbat. Amijah. Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Yazmatah. With that, class dismissed.